Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of my HLTV Fantasy. Today we'll be looking at the playoffs or the final stage of Funspark ULTI 2020 Europe. Only 8 teams to choose from, but all 8 of them are at least to some extent quite interesting. They actually announced the fantasy yesterday already, but I wanted to wait until they announced the bracket, and well, here it is. So let's look at the format first. It's a double elimination bracket. We can clearly see which team. So yeah, you just fall from here to here. Okay, good. Don't want to make the same mistake I made with the EPL playoffs video. Let's, I guess, go round by round and say what I expect will happen. I think VP will beat Force. That's probably what anyone would expect. I think VP is one of the strongest teams right now. So I think VP make it through here. Instead of Force. Complexity Havu is very interesting, and Havu do have a very good shot, at least at beating Complexity. Complexity have not been looking too hot. I have a good feeling that they'll probably, like, Havu have a very good chance of making it here. But I'd say it's pretty close to a 50-50 right now. Big and Extra Salt. Big was very bad in EPL. They haven't been looking great. Extra Salt also just dropped to Team Spirit. I think these are like some of the weaker teams in the event, and both of them play each other here, which is interesting. And then we have EG and Heroic. EG have not been looking great. Heroic obviously just won EPL. If the prices at all like allow it, I will probably be going with Heroic players here. Heroic and VP look like a good shout, as they're on the different side of it. They're on different sides of the bracket, so you would expect them to go through the entire thing. I think VP and Heroic meeting here in the upper finals. Then the loser should beat whoever comes up here, and then they should meet again in the finals. I think that is the most likely outcome, at least. I have very high expectations for a team like Heroic here. Let's look at the price of the teams. So I don't understand why Heroic is still this inexpensive, like someone like Cadian and Stan. Neither of them is even a bit more expensive. I guess it's just the fact that all of them have been performing quite well. I think Tessus was pretty insane. He's someone I'm certainly looking at possibly picking for 208 grand. And then a different Heroic player. It could be Cadian, making him have the AWP role or something like that. We'll see. Or Clutch, based on that one Clutch he made. Well, maybe not, but what was VP then? VP is more expensive, like Yekindar and Jame at least. I would love to have Yekindar or Jame on the team. Yekindar is entry, obviously, and Jame would be AWP. Secret Buster Sanji. Sanji is not a bad shout because we need someone cheaper. If I want one of these, or even some of the more expensive players in Heroic, I do need some cheaper options as well. Secret is a good fill. Buster is a good fill. Like, both of these can certainly pop off in some of the events or some of the games. Who are like the most inexpensive players from the other teams? So we have Sanji obviously here. Rush for 175. But Rush hasn't been looking extremely good, and they are playing Havu in the first round. Tizian and Keto. The thing with Big is that I think they still have good potential. With players like Searson, for example, if he starts popping off, that'd be sick. Dobson is not bad. They just have had a very rough go at it lately. But especially as they're playing Extra Salt in the first round, it could be worth it to have one of the big players. Because Extra Salt have had big struggles in their against European opposition. EG have Stanislav and Tariq. I don't want to pick Tariq because, well, if you've all heard the rumors, it's been rumored that Michu would join EG instead of Tariq, so maybe he gets swapped out. I don't really want to have that happen. Other than that, how good is EG? They're playing freaking Heroic. I have very small hopes for EG in this one. I think Heroic are going to destroy them. In the lower bracket, they could make a good lower bracket run. beating big or extra salt is completely possible. And then who comes down here? It's like whoever loses to heroic here, so it would be the winner of big extra salt. So you would probably get, I think EG could very well win 2 of the games down here. It's going to become much more difficult here, as they have to play against whoever made the best run from the upper bracket, and I think this upper bracket has at least 3 very good teams. I don't know at Force too much, but Havu, Complexity, VP, all of them I would probably rank above EG right now. I would expect EG probably get 2 wins at most. They could also just lose to bigger extra salt, so I'm not that happy with. I don't want to pick them because there's clearly some changes about to happen, or at least rumored to be changes. Havu is. I am totally gonna pick Havu on a secondary account. I'm just stating it right now. I just want to have one account where I can root for Havu to do well, but I just can't bring myself to pick them right here. I think Complexity is not the worst first opponent, but the fact that they're playing VP for after that is, I have a hard time picking them here. Probably gonna be picking Ariel because he's looking insane lately, and then Yemi is not 187 grand bad. I think you could put clutch on him. He's pretty good at clutches. So or Slowy maybe, but Slowy has a lot of those performances where he just looks like he's completely out of it, but luckily his team carries him every time. But probably on a secondary account, Ariel, Yemi making it for me. X7 is also a very good shout. 212 and he obviously is an exceptionally good player as well. Extra salt, don't want to pick extra salt, sorry, but they just didn't convince me in the last thing they played. It was Blast Showdown that they played in yesterday. I think they got kind of crushed. Someone like OC, for example, didn't he have like a horrible performance? Well, not. No, this is a different game. Why does it not show the matches they played in Showdown? Here, 2-0 extra salt. Yeah, he just didn't do well. -15 over 2 maps. Just 2, he went -10, train -5. It's just not good enough. I don't think this opposition is much worse, at least, than Team Spirit, so don't want to pick him. And also for that price tag, I don't understand how you could ever pick him. Force is decent, but I have a hard time seeing them win against VP. And then the problem is that Complexity Havu are so good that even the loser of that should be able to beat Force most of the time. So, let's go into this. I think double heroic. I'm liking the idea of a Tessis. Let's first actually go and check where the most picked players so far. So we have KD and Sanji, Ekindar, Rush. I was basically looking at this kind of as well. To some extent at least. So if JKS. JKS is maybe a good shout on Poison. There's a lot of Complexity fan love here, but I think I like Tessis. I like. What if can I go with this? And who do I get as my? Because I was very much eyeing this kind of as well. This is just to, so there's Stanislaw. You don't go Yekindar if you go Jame. It's just 1k difference. If it's just 1k difference, I really want to go Yekindar instead for the entry role. KDN as op. Sanji as support, I guess. Yeah. This is IGL. Can you just go like shush then? IGL. And who do you get as like the last guy is always the question. 180 grand. You get like a Tizian. If you don't go shush and you go refresh, who do you get? Just stand still. 172. It's 1 grand off like a rush. That'd be nice. If you don't go KD and you go stun, refresh, get rush, but then you don't have an AWPer. Also, I don't know what roles I would put, like it would be yeah, it's very tough to roll these guys up then. Down, I would really like this, but I don't want Stanislaw. I don't want to pick Stanislaw. Wait, if I go Stanislaw, go Tesses. Can I get Stone and Stanislaw? I can. How much extra cash do I have? 0. So like this is an. How bad has Stanislaw been lately? That's the real question here. He's been pretty bad. When they're losing to like Ignitas, X-Win Strike. Losing. Like when they're losing, he's also not doing well at all. Look at this here. Obviously against teams like Astralis and G2, but still. These teams are not much worse than that. I don't think they are. I really don't. And they're playing heroic first round, so it feels horrible to pick a Stanislaw. I'd rather have Rush every day of the week. Damn it, Yakindar, can't you be $1,000 less expensive so I could get Tessus and Refresh and Rush? I don't probably want to pick Shush over like a Refresh at least. Like Shush is fine, but it's not like putting up the stats that you want, right? You want your players to put up like good stats in this. It's not only about the team, of course not. And I think some like Tessus or Refresh is so much better. Yeah, like Tessus looks a lot better to me. About Refresh. Refresh is being pretty good as well. What if you don't go Katie and you go Refresh Tessus? 181 grand, but then you would probably. But this was the problem with like, so it would be support, Refresh IGL, Tessus gonna be headshot, that's fine. Ito. Then we don't have an Oper. So it would have to be kind of James, I think. Obviously James good as well as a pick. Can you go? Wait, you can go this. You can go double ops. That's not bad either. Wait, I kind of like this. So you would go support Sanji. Then be clutch Cadian and main op James, I think. IGL Refresh and Rush would be like I don't know what Rush would be. Something. But I think that's very nice. Double op is not bad because double ops can still. Like double op is actually very good, I think. Like because opers usually get a lot of impact. Yeah, I really like this team. I don't think there's much better than this either. We're on the different sides of the bracket, obviously, with as much as we can. Complexity, even if they lose to Havu, I think they have a decent shot at like beating Force and then beating Havu in the second game or something like that, or even VP. That happens, or they just beat Havu, lose to VP, play against Havu or Force again. I don't know how well Rush will play, but I think it's worth it for these other players. Sanji is obviously not like amazing, but look, you have to make sacrifices. That's always gonna be a thing here. But like, look at this. This is not like bad lately. Complexity against Ents, Fnatic. Like these are not horrible performances for this price. Definitely not. So I remember he had some bad maps. Yeah, but I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with this. So main op James, support Sanji, clutch Kinkadi and IGL Refresh, and then Rush is something. Question is, what do we put on Rush? Defender is not horrible. Looks like he has pretty like one thing I've kind of realized with these, when you have kind of a filler player, someone who is less expensive, you don't have high expectations for them, they don't have any real standout stats, just go for a role that will usually get you the 2 points. So something like defender, he's probably not gonna have a lot of bad CT sides. Like he's averaging 1.01 CT, so for him to get below 0.85 CT sides, kind of difficult. What about entries then? It entries 7.7% of the time. It's not enough. A lot of the time he's probably gonna get penalty. Stat hunter, no. Attacker, no. Headshot machine is kind of interesting as well, because 35.35. That's also one that I usually look at, the headshot machine. Like, his headshot percentage here is that much. Let's go maybe. Can I look like map by map when he's like when's the last time he's had that bad of a headshot percentage? That's probably the way you should kind of look at this. So we go here, rush 14.8, hit headshots out of 14, so he's got enough there. Here 12.20. He's kind of just shooting heads most of the time, like enough heads at least. 13. Yeah, I'm gonna throw headshot machine on rush. He's not really a headshot machine, below 50% headshot percentage, but he's at least not gonna get the penalty a lot of the time, and sometimes he's probably gonna get the max bonus as well. Like there's a chance for that. The other one I was thinking about was defender, but the quality of teams complexity are playing. I think there's a chance that we get penalized for defender. Other than that, yeah, I like this. We can put the opening round boosters. So VP are playing 4s, so I think someone like the problem with top of scoreboard is that there's like a Yekindar in his team, but the problem is that Heroic also doesn't have one star player. All of the players can be the top of the leaderboard. Rush probably isn't that. So Jane gets top of the scoreboard for sure here. I really like picking this against the weaker opposition a lot of the time. What about Sanji? Close all of this stuff, and then I'll just open up the page for all of these players. Who has the highest KST? It's James. We get probably a lot of that comes from his survived percentage. High. Pretty good KST for refresh as well. Maybe we put that on him. I don't think I will have time to put everything on KST on James either way. Who is complexity are playing Havu? I think even put aimbot on rush. I don't think anyone else is gonna be our aimbot. Actually, refresh is pretty good aim. Maybe put that on him eventually. Choke. I don't think this is the round you use choke. Best pistol round is pretty good. You can put best pistol on Cadian here. Ace. I mean, multi-kill percentage, right? You could look at like refresh or Cadian here. 30 bomb. Probably James, Cadian, someone like that. Avenger. So Sanji is kind of Avenger, I guess, because he's not bait. So he's gonna get some trade frags. Maybe put Avenger on Sanji. What about grenade damage then? So yeah, Cadian is good with grenade damage. Yeah, I remember that actually. Maybe put that actually on him here. Kobe on here. We'll save the pistol round for a different one. Saber, James eventually, of course, but not on this round. Assist. Who has highest assist per round? Rush. You can put assist on rush here. That's fine. Sanji. Is Sanji good with flash assists? Oh my god, Sanji is like an insane flashbang statistic guy. Okay, so we'll do that. I didn't even know that, but that's a really good reason to pick him as well. You should get the... That's an insane statistic. That is a very high success rate for flashbangs. Yes. Okay. So that's my team, primary team. I will link, as always, a secondary team in the comments down below. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content and want to see more of my teams for each HLTV fantasy that ever comes out, at least for the foreseeable future. So yeah, thanks for watching and see ya.